My boyfriend lied about our rent for 2 years. He's been pocketing my money for a Porsche. I feel like I'm going crazy right now. I'm 26. My boyfriend, Liam, is 29. 2 years ago, I moved in with him. He said he was renting a nice place from his uncle for a family discount. The rent was $2,000 a month. We split it 50-50. So I Venmo him $1,000 on the first of every month. I even labeled it rent. It was a stretch for me. I have $40,000 in student loans. I make way less than him, but I wanted to pull my weight. Fast forward to yesterday. Liam's away on a business trip. I grabbed the mail and saw a thick envelope from the bank. It was addressed to him. It was already ripped open. I know I shouldn't have looked, but I did. I saw a balance, $25,200. I pulled the paper out. It wasn't a joint account. It was a high-yield savings account, nicknamed the GT3 Fund. Something felt wrong. I went to the county auditor's website, something I should have done years ago. Liam doesn't rent this house from his uncle. Liam OWNS this house. His parents bought it for him in cash when he graduated college. There is no mortgage. There is no landlord. For 2 years, I've been eating instant ramen, skipping my best friend's bachelorette party, and picking up overtime shifts to pay rent that was going directly into his sports car fund. When I called him shaking, he didn't even apologize. He said, "You're paying below market rate for the area. A 1-bedroom apartment would cost you $1,800. Where that money goes isn't your business. It's smart investing." I told him that lying to me about a fake landlord for 2 years is financial infidelity. He told me I was being dramatic, and that if I expect to live somewhere for free just because we're dating, I'm a gold digger. I feel like I've paid $24,000 to live with a sociopath. He comes home tomorrow and expects me to be over it, but I can't stop crying. Does he have a point about market value? Or have I been scammed by the man I love? Did I overreact, or is he completely in the wrong? Let me know what you think. I just destroyed my sister's wedding, and I don't regret it, but now her fiancé is threatening me. I'm a 29-year-old guy. I've always spoiled my little sister, Sarah. She's 26. But this week, I think I ruined her life, and honestly, I don't feel guilty. Yet. Sarah is marrying Mike this Saturday. 6 months ago, she came to my apartment. She was sobbing and hyperventilating. They couldn't afford her dream venue. It was a historic vineyard estate. It cost exactly $15,000. I do well in finance. I have a soft spot for her, so I wrote a personal check for the full amount. I specifically told her, "This is for the venue. Consider it my wedding gift." Fast forward to yesterday, I swung by the vineyard. I wanted to drop off some heavy decor boxes. I didn't want Sarah to deal with them. I started chatting with the event coordinator, Linda. I casually mentioned, "I'm just glad my $15,000 could make this happen for her." Linda looked confused. She clicked around on her iPad. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. "Sir, the total package they booked is the Morning Garden Special. It ends at 2 p.m. and doesn't include catering. The total cost was $4,200. I asked, "Where did the rest go?" I called Sarah immediately. She didn't even deny it. She actually giggled and said, "Well, Mike and I really needed a down payment for a house. We knew you wouldn't lend us money for that asterisk, but you'd pay for a wedding. It's the same money, don't be petty. We deserve a start." Petty? She played on my emotions. She tricked me into funding her mortgage, and she was planning to feed our family Costco platters at a luxury venue. I told her to return the difference immediately. She refused. She said it was already in escrow and I couldn't stop her. So I went nuclear. Since the check was large, my bank had placed a standard hold on it. I called them. I reported the transaction as based on fraudulent pretenses, and I stopped payment. Because Sarah had already moved the money to escrow, her account overdrafted by $10,000 instantly. The venue realized the deposit check bounced. They emailed her a cancellation notice for non-payment 48 hours before the wedding. Now Sarah is hysterical. Our parents are calling me a monster for humiliating her publicly. And Mike sent me a text saying, "You just destroyed our future over a technicality." I'm sitting here with a glass of scotch, watching my family group chat implode. Am I wrong for pulling the plug, or was she wrong for embezzling my gift? Did I overreact, or did my sister deserve this? Let me know what you think. I kicked my stepson out of my wedding after he destroyed my irreplaceable vintage gown. Was I wrong? I'm a 28-year-old woman. I married Greg yesterday. He's 35. I spent my wedding night alone in a hotel room. Crying, my husband comforted his son. Greg has a son, Toby. He's 9 years old. Greg refuses to discipline him. Toby's the golden child because his mom passed away. I have empathy. But Greg lets him get away with anything. I had one rule for the wedding: no electronics or food near the head table during speeches. My dress was a vintage 1920s silk gown. I spent 2 years finding and restoring it. It's irreplaceable and worth about $5,500. During the reception, Toby whined that he was bored. We paid $400 for a kids' activity station. But Greg panicked. He gave Toby his iPad and a huge cup of fruit punch to keep him quiet during the maid of honor speech. I whispered, "Please take the drink away. He's right next to me and the silk is delicate." Greg rolled his eyes. Loudly, he said, "Relax, don't be a bridezilla, he's fine." 30 seconds later, Toby lost a life in his game. He threw a tantrum and flailed his arms. The entire cup of bright red punch went all over the front of my dress. The stain was instant, massive, and devastating. The room went silent. Toby started screaming, not because he was sorry, but because his iPad got wet. Greg hugged Toby, drying off the tablet. He didn't even look at me. That's when I snapped. I turned to my sister and said, "Take Toby to the hotel room with the nanny." "Now," Greg yelled, "he's just a kid. It was an accident. You aren't kicking my son out of our wedding." I looked him in the eye, dripping in punch. I said, "You prioritized a video game over our marriage. He leaves, or I do." My sister dragged Toby out. Greg called me a heartless witch in front of everyone and ran after them. He never came back. Now he's texting me. He says I traumatized his son over a piece of old fabric. He wants a public apology before he comes home. Am I the a-hole? Did I overreact, or is Greg completely out of line? Let me know in the comments. My boyfriend has been scamming me for 3 years. He's been pretending to hate our landlord, but he is the landlord. I'm 26 years old. Yesterday, I found a property tax assessment on the kitchen counter. It completely shattered my reality. For 3 years, my boyfriend, Mark, who is 29, and I have lived in a dump. It's drafty. The plumbing screams, and the rent is $1,800 a month. Mark is obsessed with the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early. He convinced me we needed to live frugally. We had to rent this cheap place so we could save for a forever home together. I bought into it. I've been picking up extra shifts at the clinic. I skipped vacations. I was literally eating rice and beans to cover my $900 half of the rent, all while maxing out my savings. Every time the heat broke, Mark would sigh. He'd say, "The landlord is such a cheapskate. He won't send a plumber." Then Mark would do a shoddy DIY fix himself. I felt so guilty that he had to deal with it. Yesterday, a letter came addressed to Apex Holdings LLC. I opened it, assuming it was a bill for the landlord. It was a tax document. The sole owner of the LLC, Mark. I felt like I was going to throw up. I tore through his filing cabinet while he was at the gym. I found the deed. Mark bought this house 4 years ago, for cash. He owns it outright. There is no mortgage. There is no evil landlord. He is the landlord. When he got home, I confronted him. I expected an apology. Instead, he looked annoyed. He told me, "I was charging you fair market rent. It's a smart investment strategy. If I told you I owned it, you would have expected to live for free and wouldn't have been motivated to hustle." I did the math. I have paid this man over $32,000 in rent. It went straight into his high-yield savings account, all while he watched me cry over not being able to afford a flight to my sister's bachelorette party. He says I'm overreacting because the money is technically staying in the family if we get married. I feel like I've been scammed by the person I sleep next to. I'm at a hotel tonight. He says I'm being financially immature. Am I wrong for thinking this is unforgivable? Did I overreact, or is this a huge red flag? Let me know what you think.